Do you understand who members of Congress are?
And you don't care.
Who are we then?
You don't care.
We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress.
With
parents,
identification.
We're teachers. We were elected.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We are on Megyn Kelly's podcast here, and there's a little clip where members of Congress are being denied entry into the Department of Education. This is from a few days ago. I'm recording this. As I record this, it's the 12th of February 2025, so this is from a few days ago, but still beautiful to see. I just like how that guy, they've got like a guy guarding the door. He's just not letting him in. And these guys, these members of Congress cannot do anything about it. It's pretty funny to watch, I have to admit. Of course, the media and the Democrats are outraged over this, over all the cuts to the disgustingly bloated federal bureaucracy. After all, that is their bread and butter. But let's get into this. Megyn Kelly will talk about it, and her special guest is Victor Davis Hanson, noted intellectual.
And that brings me to the Department of Education this morning, where the Democrats get a little insurrection-y this morning over there in their fight, not just with Trump, but with Elon Musk. They try to like storm the building, but meanwhile, it's like, we don't even have a Trump-appointed DOE chief. You know, it's Linda McMahon, but she hasn't even had her confirmation hearing scheduled. So like, who exactly are you going to go tear down when you get in there? Like, what's your plan exactly if you do get through the door? Maxine Waters, who, of course, was there. The leftists, they're very upset. Not about Trump. You don't even hear Trump's name that much, but about Elon. And there is a brand new cover of Time magazine, which will show you exactly that, not to mention the ridiculousness on CNN. Okay, so we're going to talk all about that and much, much more with VDH. Victor Davis Hanson is here. He's senior fellow at the Hoover Institution and author of The End of Everything, How Wars Descend into Annihilation. VDH, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Megyn.
My next guest will forgive me for stealing his point for the top of the show, but I think it's a really good one, don't you? About this is where they really did get upset, and it's actually causing protests in the street. Not all the other stuff that they've been whining about for 4 years.
Yeah, I think so. But the problem they're having is that on almost every one of these issues, there's 70% approval rating on Trump. He's picked these issues primarily for that reason, the border and energy and cutting waste. There's overwhelming support for it all. So every time they say they're going to have a big protest, or Hakeem Jeffries says he's going to go in the street, he's not going to go in the street. Cory Booker's not going to go in the street. There's no support for it. If they cut Social Security, yeah, or Medicare, yeah, but he's not going to do that. So this is a slow motion suicide of the Democratic Party. They're screaming and yelling on the confirmation. You've aired probably the voting at the DNC, that crazy, I don't know what you would call it, quotas on which candidate was of which sort sexual orientation. It's just
they wanted non-binaries represented equally.
Yeah, and then this meltdown over Elon Musk. Elon Musk, I mean, the National Security Advisor of the United States doesn't have to be confirmed. He serves at the wish of the president. So Elon Musk doesn't have, he's the same category. And, you know, I was just thinking, during World War II, FDR really turned over his foreign policy to Bernard Baruch and Harry Hopkins. They had no Doge type affiliation. They were just, I don't know what you'd call them, senior counselors. They didn't even work for the government. And Harry Hopkins moved in for 4 years into the White House. And the Republicans say, this guy's running all the foreign policy during the war. And then if you think about the scientific stuff that Elon's trying to do and bring coding and everything in for efficiency, they just turned over the war effort on the War Production Board. These guys weren't elected. They were not confirmed. Henry Ford, Henry Kaiser, William Knudsen, they just rebooted the entire American economy. They were geniuses at what they did. But this is not new to have an advisor. What's new is that he actually has a statutory authority in this new agency of Doge. But I don't know whether he's an apostate and they're furious at him because Tesla and his wealth was used on their behalf, but they're just committing suicide, and they're down to 31%. That's a low.
Yeah, it's great to watch the Democratic Party simply implode since the election. They are losing their minds. It's fantastic to see. They're melting down, as are, all liberals and liberal-minded people. And the Democrats are floundering hard. It's fantastic. It's amazing to see.
Lowest in my lifetime they've ever been, an approval rating. And I guess they want to go down to 20, and they will get there if they keep this hysteria up.
Here is how it looked outside of the Department of Education today, where they tried to get in, but the security would not let them.
Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
Access
to federal buildings.
We're allowed in there.
So do you understand who members of Congress are?
And you don't care.
Who are we then?
You don't care.
We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress.
With
We're parents,
identification.
We're teachers.
You were elected.
This is our job.
This is our job. We're doing our job. Trying to request a meeting, and they have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf.
Sorry, I have to stop it here because the face on the guy guarding the door is just priceless. He looks like I felt so many times. I have 4 kids. Well, they're not kids anymore. 4 children, but when they were young, sometimes, they're all yelling for your attention or something like that, or complaining about something. And I'm just standing there, kind of half closing my eyes, shaking my head, saying, nope, that's not going to work. That's the exact impression I get, like a long-suffering dad, that guy. Like he's putting up with all this crying nonsense from these little kids who are clamoring at the door. And he's like, no, you can't come in. It's absolutely fantastic.
Behalf of the Department of Education.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up.
Oh, here
Look
we
at
go.
him. Let him see. This is him. Look.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is fantastic. It just never stops, this poor guy. Now we have Maxine Waters. Trying to be the grandma who, shames you into doing the right thing. Yeah, I've been in that position myself when I was a kid. But this is just brilliant.
Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
The ID, I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID?
Watching these entitled congressmen and congresswomen just be turned down is just too beautiful. Oh, this guy just does not care. 0 F's given.
I think I speak for everyone when I say we're on his side. I mean, can you imagine if the dynamic were reversed there, Victor? And if it were a white man saying to Maxine Water, get your head up. Look at me. Give me your ID. Show it to me again. Get it out. She can be as disrespectful as she wants of him, though.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first time. During the first term, she told everybody to bird dog and harass and get in the faces and follow Trump supporters into restaurants and stuff. And then we had Al Green. I think this is the 5th time he's been screaming about impeaching Donald Trump. And Hakeem Jeffries, who says he's a moderate, but he's not, he was telling everybody to go out in the streets. Cory Booker is replaying the Spartacus role of the confirmation hearing of Kavanaugh. He's screaming and yelling about, as if he's Winston Churchill, we're going to fight on the beaches and all this. It's insane. And they don't understand that most people, I'd say the vast majority of people are so sick of it. And they just want to cut the size of government. They don't want to give the BBC 8% of its budget. They really don't want to do that. They don't want to pay for the subscriptions of bureaucrats to Politico. That's beside all the trans and gay stuff. And another thing they don't mention is we're spending a lot of money to go into traditional fundamentalist societies in the Middle East and Asia, and then almost as if we're 19th century pith hat British imperialist and starting to, pride flag. And you'd think that after Kabul, when the pride flag was on the embassy and George Floyd murals and the gender studies, they would have learned their lesson. that if you really want to alienate a traditional society, you don't bring in trans and gay and all of these crazy, politically correct sesame on street on Middle East TV, but they're really cultural imperials. That's what's so ironic about it.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant insight there. That's absolutely what they are. The cabal that has been running the government absolutely want to export American degeneracy around the world. America is the global empire. Yes, we know that. America's got the biggest military and all that, but through this so-called soft power that now the Democrats are crying about, they're crying because our soft power is going to be lost thanks to the decimation of U.S. aid, thank God. But what is that soft power? Apparently the soft power consists of spreading, buying $50 million worth of condoms and giving them to some country, or encouraging pride parades in traditional countries, traditional societies, or, transgender story hour, or whatever the latest thing is. And of course, yeah, people in those countries will take money and try to do something, because who doesn't want American money? We all like money, but that stuff's never going to stick. But that is the soft power of the United States. They get you taking the money, and then you have to do what we tell you. You have to start implementing our degeneracy in your traditional society. The problem is now, for Americans and Western Europeans, like where I live, we have to root out the degeneracy and get back to our own traditional society. And that's going to take some time. Just cutting out US aid is a nice start. It's a great first step, but we've got a lot more work to do.
And they turn off people overseas. So when Elon says get rid of it, it would be better for foreign relations. I think he's right. It's not just the 50 billion we'd save, but we wouldn't appear so obnoxious and sermonizing and arrogant to all of these societies that purportedly we're helping.
The pushback, I mean, I don't know what she thought she was going to accomplish just because she's a member of Congress, that she can just show up and barge into the DOE with a bunch of civilians they don't know, they haven't cleared. Their intent once they get into the DOE is unclear. Can you imagine what that guy, the kind of hot water he would have been into if they had just let them all in? Just come on in. I mean, now I guess this is the new standard on Capitol Hill in the wake of January 6th. If you're a Democrat, it's fine. You can storm the building, you can blow past security, you can harass the officers. That's all good. I mean, I was told that was really bad and insurrection-y, but...
Wow, okay. Megyn Kelly is kind of pushing it here a bit. Didn't look like, they weren't trying to force their way in from what I saw. She's reaching a bit, fair enough, but it was a hilarious scene. I was glad to see that. And I agree with what Victor David Hansen just said. Apparently, Elon Musk said it too, that it will actually improve America's relations with countries around the world if we don't try to impose all this nonsense on them. But of course, I mean, if America used to know that. So there is a reason, there's some kind of deeper reason, or there's higher level string pullers that want all this degeneracy spread around the world, and they want to subsume or what would I say? They want to try to subsume local cultures around the world with our degeneracy. I think there is a reason for it, but don't want to get into conspiracy theories here. Let me know what you think in the comments about all that. I thought it was an interesting clip, and if you like this kind of content, do like and subscribe. It really helps me grow the channel, and I will see you in the next video.